You're listening to The Straight Line on MRN.com, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. And also brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Welcome to MRN's The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Ready to go? Talk a little drag racing once again. Ralph Shaheen and Doug Herbert with you. We're headed to Chicago, Joliet, to be 100% correct on the physical location of the drag strip.
Close to Chicago.
Yeah, close to Chicago. This is the Route 66. Is it Route? Which way do you go? Route 66?
I say Route 66, but I guess it
Route
could be
2.
either one. Yeah, route, whatever.
Yeah, it was Route 66.
RTE, 66.
You had good success at that joint.
Had some fun over there. Yeah, we've had some fun. I was there the first year that they opened the track up in 98 and didn't miss a year for a while. And I'm trying to remember. I think in 2004, won the race, beat Tony Schumacher, right? The hometown hero, beat Tony Schumacher and just flat outran him in the final. It was pretty fun. So, yeah. we've had some excitement up there at Route 66.
We're going to have the president of the racetrack, Scott Paddock, joining us a little later on the show. And Leah Pritchett is going to get on board with us, too.
Yep, Leah Pritchett, driver of the Don Schumacher race and one of the top field dragsters over there. She's fourth in points, which seems pretty good, but it kind of seems like they've struggled a little bit this year. So we'll talk to her a little bit about that and find out, hey, you're fourth in points, good, but doesn't seem like, you've been hot like they have been.
The other thing I want to talk to her about, too, is, she's been involved in that factory stock program.
Won the championship last year.
And, in NASCAR, for example, there's a huge controversy over how much the upper tier cup guys should come down to the Xfinity level and the truck level and compete, right? It's a big deal with Kyle Busch. In fact, he's maxed out the amount of times he's allowed to compete in the truck series. He's basically won everything he's been in this year there.
Yeah.
I wonder how the sportsman category guys feel about somebody like Leah coming down and running in that category. Now, I can remember back in the day in NASCAR when the guys would say, I love it when a Dale Earnhardt Sr. comes down because I can see where I'm at compared to them in my program. But then there were other guys that would say, man, he's just taking money out of my pocket.
Yeah, let us race this and go race your thing and let us race here.
Right. So I don't know how the sportsman guys feel about somebody like Leah, known as a top fuel competitor coming back to the factory program.
I think that'd be an interesting question to ask her. I mean, my feeling is, sportsmanship is being a sportsman, going out there, talking to your competitors and being involved with them, not just going to the starting line and pulling up next to them in the lane. So I don't know. Maybe we need to ask Leah, and then you ask some of the competitors that she races against. Hey, what do you think about Leah? Oh, man, we love her. Oh, man, we don't even see her until she comes to the starting line. I don't know. Mark Paddock also races one of the Dodge Challenger
Legendary
Ford
Pro
DSR.
Stock.
Yeah, I mean, a great Pro Stock racer. He races nearly an identical car to Leah with the Don Schumacher, under the Don Schumacher Racing banner. Yeah. And he hasn't had the success that she has had in the factory stock thing. So maybe he'd be a good one to ask too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it is interesting because, it adds a spotlight to the category when you have somebody of that caliber of name. Promoters tend to like it because, again, it gives them something to advertise. So I can see both sides of the story, and I don't know if
I like it. I think it's brought
opinion.
some attention, like you say, to that class. I think that factory stock class,
the
we've talked
class,
about
period.
it several times on the show. I actually like it as much, or I mean,
you can say
I like to say more than Pro Stock.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say.
Because, you go down, you can buy one of those cars, very similar.
It's kind of what you think Pro Stock should be, right?
I think it is. I think it's more what Pro Stock needs to be. I think it's something people relate to. I mean, 500 cubic inch engines, it's not something you can go down and buy. Those factory stock cars are kind of what Pro Stock was
back in the day.
20, 30, longer ago than that. But I mean, back when
what
it started.
What the theme was. When
what it was
started.
intended to be.
Yeah.
That was what it was intended to be. They're factory hot rods. They're factory race cars. That's cool. I think.
And
it's
the
cool.
manufacturers seem to like it because they're participating. Dodge, Chevy, Ford, they're all in there.
Yep, they're all in there. No, I think it's a great deal. And I'm curious to see, how much Leah likes racing in that class. I bet she likes it a lot.
How would you feel if there was a Camry in that category?
Well,
or a Sentra.
I'm trying to think. Where was I?
I'm just
I was somewhere. they have a Camry that.
Well, they could
I
build
don't remember. Yeah, it has a NASCAR engine in it.
They got a V8. Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm trying to think whose shop I was at that has one. I mean, it looks like a factory.
But I
street
mean,
Camry
you know,
with the V8 engine in it.
if Toyota came to the line with a factory effort like that, I mean, they got
Yeah.
the funny car body,
Yeah.
right? But it's a body.
It's
I mean,
about
here
it.
it's a factory effort.
I think it'd be great. I think it'd be great to do. I mean, open it up. Hey, come on out.
It's really kind of up
build
to the
a car.
manufacturer to do it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think
as
there's
long as
anything that
those
says they
cars are
can't.
available and you can go down and buy them, I think it's great. Hey, you know what? It doesn't have to be just Ford, Chrysler, and Chevy. I mean, come on, let's bring it out. Yeah, let's go. I think it'd be great. I mean, what would you think? You think the same? I mean,
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't. Well, I shouldn't say. You know where it could happen? It can happen when Toyota shows up with the Supra, because the Supra's coming, right?
okay,
So here's a car that could maybe match the category of a performance. The Camry doesn't really fit what the Mustang and the Camaro and the Challenger really are,
right.
right? But now for Toyota, the Supra might match image-wise that kind of category,
Right.
right? Performance-wise. So maybe that's a way for them to then go, meaning Toyota, to say, okay, we've got the car body-wise that we really want to push that way.
Yeah.
Now we've got an engine. Let's go do this thing.
Well, Toyota's obviously interested in the NHRA, right?
Yeah.
NHRA, they spend a lot of money with the
And a
NHRA,
great
with their
program
body,
for them.
with their funny car category, and also with Top Fuel. They supply a lot of technology and information for several of the Top Fuel teams. So for them to be involved, I don't think it would be far out. Maybe we need to get Andy Graves on the show. He's the head guy over at
Slugger
TRD,
Laddie.
or Slugger. Yeah, either of those guys to get him on here and ask him about
Let's
it.
do that.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
I'm
You
on
going to
it.
call him?
Yeah, I'll call him. Yeah, whatever. Let's go.
I think that would be fun to think about too. You know,
think it
and
really
David
would.
Wilson over there at TRD at Toyota. Of course, TRD Toyota Racing Development. I'm sure if you're watching the show, you know that. He's all about that stuff. Toyota's very heavily involved in the midgets, running all around the country. And I've had long conversations with David about his desire to take Toyota engines into sprint car racing, 410 sprint car racing. He wants to go to the Knoxville Nationals and Eldora and places like that with it. So I think the idea of blasting down the quarter mile in a factory stock car, factory pro stock, whatever you want to call that category, would not be a far reach. If you're looking to go sprint car racing in Knoxville and you're already involved in NHRA racing, that factory program
I'd
is
like
not
to put a
far
couple
off.
of those Toyota engines in my land speed car. I think that,
Yeah.
Toyota, right? Going places, that's their thing. We need one.
You need to go down
500 miles
Bonneville.
per hour. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and we saw what a huge success it was for them at Gainesville this year, right? Because those were all Camrys,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. All the legends drove the
Those
Camrys.
were the
And they were,
Camrys, right?
they went 100 miles an hour in the quarter mile.
In
a
stock,
stock,
yeah.
pretty much a stock Camry. That's
Sure.
pretty fast. I mean, there was a day I had a hot rod Firebird Trans Am that only went 100 miles an hour. And I mean, it was like a
Sucking
hot
at
rod.
the back end down there, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Well, let's just face it. I mean, the Camry has a sport addition to it, but it's not thought of as
Hot rod, yeah.
like we said, the Mustang, the Challenger.
Might not be a bad image for them to take up. I mean, obviously, right there, NASCAR racing, that's a high performance. They're, the Chevys, they're racing Camaros, the Fords are racing Mustangs. Yeah, there you go. We need to make a suggestion to them. I think it's a good idea.
I think we should do that. We need to get our producer Daryl, who's probably watching through the other side of that lens over there.
We'll get
Take
Slugger,
notes,
Andy.
Slugger,
Yeah.
Andy, get them on here.
All right, deal.
Okay,
Let's do
there's
it.
that. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, let's see. This last weekend here in Charlotte, obviously we had the big NASCAR races. They had sprint car races at the dirt track over
in
here.
Charlotte,
So
yeah.
how I relate that to this show, right? Drag racing is Selzy, Gary
Yeah.
Selzy. He's my buddy. He just showed up at my shop. He said, "Man, I was driving by and I saw this brake sign and I came in and had a really nice time talking with Gary and Julie and Dominic and Giovanni.
Gio and Dominic and Julie. Yeah,
All
that's
of
the whole
them.
game.
Yeah, I think they came by for 5 minutes and stayed for 3 hours. We
Yeah,
just had a
it's
fun
Selzy.
time.
You're not
And
going to
then
get rid of them
Giovanni-
quick.
No. Well, I didn't want to.
No, it's a valid point.
I
That's a
mean,
valid
Selzy,
point.
I forgot how much fun he was. I haven't seen him in so long. And then Giovanni won the Outlaw Sprint Car race, the World of Outlaw race
Kids
on
quick.
Friday night, beat, Cup regular Kyle Larson in the World of
Gio's
Outlaws
a
race
real
on
deal.
Friday night. I mean, and he came from back and like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I was impressed.
So-
Those kids, both of them, they are really, really good sprint car
Yeah,
racers.
so
Just good racers.
Giovanni we call him Gio, and then Dominic, everybody calls him Dom.
Yep.
They both chose the open wheel dirt direction. None of them really had much interest in the drag racing stuff.
Well,
They
and
had
I
done
asked Gary,
junior
I said-
dragsters back in the day, but
Right.
they kind of grew up because Gary had a huge passion for dirt racing, and he'd
Sure.
come around to the dirt tracks with all of us and the kids in tow, like my kids did. And they got interested because of people like Tony Stewart and Danny Lasowski and Donnie
Right.
Schatz. These are all the guys they grew up around, In fact, last year in Knoxville, Gio had already qualified for the Knoxville Nationals. Dominic got into the Nationals through the Speed Sport Challenge, and he won that and took the ring and the entry into the Nationals that came with it, and they both drove the wheels off their cars within the Nationals themselves. The funny part in Knoxville was watching Gary was an absolute basket case, watching his kids,
Well,
going
he was
through
even
that.
out here. I sat there with him through the whole races, and
Fingernail
and
cure,
Julie
all
sits
of-
up in there, the stands with the
Yeah.
camera, and Gary's sitting over in turn 2, getting hit with and me. I'm an amateur. I haven't been to a sprint car race since Ascot, and I go out there and just getting pelted. It's like I'm in a sandblasting machine. And so then Gary, luckily, he has a spare set of dirt goggles I can
you
put
gotta
on
have
to,
'em.
and I forgot about that. I hadn't been to an outlaw race in so long. Well, it's like there's a tornado going on with all those wings running around. Anyway, great time, great fun, but it relates to this show, right? Because they were, Gary Selsey, obviously a really good straight line racer.
4-time champ, right?
Yeah, exactly. So fun time, but those kids they're good racers. And I asked him, why did they not go into drag racing instead of the other deal? He goes, we had the junior dragster, same thing,
Yeah.
Briggs and Stratton engine. It's kind of boring. And I had the same thing with my boys. We had a junior dragster. They liked motorcycles, got into motocross racing, and Gary took his kids and got into go-kart racing. I get it. I mean, they're faster. The junior dragsters, they're pretty neat, but there's basically you don't do any work on them. You drag them to the starting line and you run them. It's not as involved as go-kart racing or motocross racing. So I think that's exciting for the kids, and they're, you get to race a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Top fuel racing, you race and then you work on the car, and you do a lot of work.
You
on
did
the
a lot
car.
of work on the
and
car.
then you drag it up the starting line. You do a little more racing. Where with the, with the sprint cars, you got a little bit. It's similar.
Yeah, good fun. Okay, we got a lot more coming your way here on MRN's Straight Line presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. We're just getting started, so stay right there.
Is your check engine light on? Don't ignore it. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today and let our professional parts people scan your vehicle for free. We'll retrieve the codes, discuss possible solutions, and even help you find a professional technician if needed. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today for our free check engine light help. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi folks, Mike Bagley here. At MRN, we rely on equipment from Racing Electronics.
Joey Logano to the lead on the back straightaway.
Racing Electronics has scanners and headphones. We can listen to every uncensored conversation between driver and crew.
You won the championship, baby, yeah!
And when we need live audio, in-car cameras, and up-to-the-second statistics, we use their latest handheld unit called Legend. To learn more about these products and many others, visit racingelectronics.com. Racing Electronics, the official two-way communication partner of MRN.
Here's your chance to win a set of your very own Hercules tires. Go to HerculesTires.com/MRN. Simply register, and each month we'll give away one set of tires. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading mileage coverage to get you wherever you need to go, no matter where the road takes you. Register now for your chance to win a set of Hercules tires at HerculesTires.com/MRN. Hercules Tires. Ride on our street.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to MRN's Straight Line presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. And we're getting ready to go drag racing again. We're going to be headed out to Route 66 over in Joliet, Illinois. That's the next stop on the tour, which means we have an opportunity to talk to Scott Paddock, who is the president of that fine facility over there in Joliet. And Scott also might be the tallest guy on the show right now, although you usually have that rule in your favor. Scott, I think you're a little bit taller than my co-host over here, right?
I think so. I'm 6'8", and I wish I could fit into a dragster, but unfortunately I can't.
I don't know,
Where do you
Scott.
top
I don't
out
know,
at,
Scott.
Herbert?
Well, I'm about 6'5". We could smash him in there, though. I'm telling you. Scott, yeah, we got to find one of my old Top Fuel cars. We're going to get you in there. That will be a thrill. We could sell tickets to that.
I'd love to.
Speaking of ticket sales, since we have a president of a racetrack on, how do the folks go ahead and get started if they want to come to the races this week?
Yeah, sure. They can go onto our website at route66raceway.com, and all the information's available right there. And we're excited to welcome back the fastest form of motorsports on the planet for their one and only trip to the Chicagoland region. And this is one of my favorite events of the year.
Scott, I'm looking at the weather coming up, and it looks like we're going to have some fast racing. The high on Friday, 77, high on Saturday, 63, high on Sunday, 57. That's going to be some fast times over there. We've seen those over the years at Chicago. There's a potential for some national records and for some really, really good show for the fans.
I agree with you. When this facility was built back in the late 90s, it was the first true stadium of drag racing. No expense was spared. And it had a reputation of being a very, very fast racetrack. And with this date on the calendar, what we're seeing right now with these very seasonal temperatures, we set a few track records last year, but I agree with you. I think some national records could be up for grabs this weekend.
Scott, you've got one of the finest facilities in the country, and you run multiple big-time events there between the oval and the drag strip and everything else going on there. How different is it promoting drag racing these days as opposed to some of the others?
There is some crossover between the two audiences, but there is a defined drag racing crowd too. And the Midwest and the Chicagoland region has a very rich and deep history with drag racing, and so we look to leverage that. And we celebrated 20 years last year, so this is year 21. And so I think people have become very familiar with our facility and this Route 66 NHRA Nationals event. And I love the format of this event because we have 2 nights of Nitro on Friday night, 2 nights of qualifying, and then 2 on Saturday. And I think what fans love, particularly the younger audiences, it's a great 45-minute show with the professional show in those Nitro cars. Then you go into Nitro Alley, the fan midway section, and you get your music, you get your entertainment, you get your sponsor engagement, you get your front row access to the pits to watch these crew chiefs break down these engines and rebuild them, and then you go do that all over again for the second qualifying session. So I think the format is very, very good because a lot of young fans, they're looking for a social experience this year, these days, at this young age, and NHRA drag racing really provides that.
Hey, Scott, one of the things that it seems like the last many years at Chicago and Route 66 Raceway is with the fans that come there, there's a lot more going on than just the drag race. Obviously you go there to see the Top Fuel cars, but there's a lot going on at the track. Tell us about some of the other activities you have to, it's like you say, keep everybody busy during the time they're at the track.
That's right. Well, we've got Shirley Cha-Cha Muldowney, a pioneer in not just motorsports, but women's sports. She's coming out as our Grand Marshal. She will be great with the fans. We bring a lot of legends back, names like Arnie Beswick and Gary Dyer, and a lot of folks. Again, that Chicagoland region has some deep roots in drag racing. So we like to celebrate the tradition of the sport, but we also complement that with a lot of things for the younger audience too. And we've got our junior dragsters that are going to be out there with their dragsters on display, and a program called Hot Rodders Young Engine Builders, a lot of high school kids that are going to be breaking down engine and rebuilding them on the clock. We want to appeal to that younger audience, so we'll have plenty of content for them as well. Music is a big part of the weekend. We've got great camping opportunities. We're going to culminate Friday and Saturday with the Jets, so put a good exclamation point on both ends. But we've got something for everyone. And again, this is just a great format and a great experiential social opportunity for fans to come out and have fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a fantastic weekend, and it's great you guys are working so hard to reach out to the younger fan base like that. The Route 66 part of the name there isn't just going off of a cool thing. It really runs by the facility, doesn't it?
It really does. The Mother Road actually starts in Chicago and goes all the way to Santa Monica, California, and it goes right by our facility. And we get fans that just come from all over Europe. They'll just pop in throughout the year because they want to do a photo op as they're traveling the historic Mother Road on Route 66. And we've branded the facility over the last couple of years to give it that historic, nostalgic Route 66 feel. And I think fans are really going to embrace that when they come this year.
Hey, Scott, with Shirley Muldowney coming out, obviously there's a lot of fans standing in line to get an autograph from Shirley Muldowney. I remember when I was a kid getting a Shirley Muldowney. Where can fans go when they come to the track to find Shirley and Arnie, the Beswick farmer, and all the other ones that you're talking about?
Right as you enter Nitro Alley, the Midway area, we're going to have the NHRA Welcome Center, and that's where they'll be. They'll be doing autographs all weekend long right there, along with a lot of the NHRA drivers. They'll be working the suites to go see the fans. And, I'm excited for Shirley. You think back to the days of Wide World of Sports, and, she graced the cover of Sports Illustrated. She was a real pioneer in the sport, and she's excited to come back and spend some time with the fans. I think she was voted the 5th most popular driver in NHRA storied history. So she's the original, the OG, and she's going to put on a great show for the fans, and I know they're looking forward to spending some time with her as well.
Yeah, and she's got some great stories to tell, too. I remember doing a feature once when I was doing the races there at your facility, and we did it all about everything that's around there history-wise, like Route 66 and all the other stuff. And one of the things I remember, we went and shot a stand-up over by, the Joliet Correctional Center. Now, Herbert didn't spend any time in that facility.
Luckily.
Yeah, luckily. The old Illinois State Penitentiary. But one guy who did, do you remember this? Do you know who did, Doug? Oh, come on now. It's Jake Blues. The Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah, it's right there down the street. So have you done anything with that in the past, Scott?
We have had Jake and Elwood out to the facility before, and we actually have a band. It's a couple-year tradition now, and the fans love it, called the Blues Brothers, Blooze, a little bit of a play on it. But they're playing all those classic Blues Brothers hits, and that's Saturday night after our second qualifying session. That'll be kind of the post-event party to have a little good exclamation point with some fun before we send everybody home for the night.
Well, there's a lot of things that go on out there at the Route 66 Raceway, and I know last year was the first year we were able to bring our Brakes Teen Safe Driving program to the track. I want to thank you and the whole facility at the Speedway for hosting that event, and I've got a lot of great memories at Route 66. Looking forward to this weekend. I might even be up there in Chicago. If I am, I'll be coming by to see you, Scott.
Well, please do. We'd love to host you. You've done so much for the sport. You guys do a great job covering it, and we're very proud of this facility. It's still considered best in class, and we love showing it off. So come see us this weekend. Scott,
what can we expect? As you said, when it was opened originally, this was the finest facility in the country when it came to drag racing. It hasn't fallen off that list. But obviously, as a track president, you have a lot of things in mind as you look forward down the road. What types of things are you thinking about doing that maybe you can tell us about now in the future that the fans can look forward to seeing in the coming years?
Well, you always try and keep these facilities fresh and updated, and we're blessed to have one of the best, not only in the country, but in the world right here in Joliet and Will County. But you have to continue to reinvest in that fan experience, and we've added a second screen this year, so fans on both sides of the grandstands are going to have great viewing access to that larger-than-life video screen to watch all the action on the racetrack. And what we've learned over the years is fans just want the basics. The NHRA show in and of itself is a great show, but they want to get in the facility easily. They want clean restrooms, good, affordable food options, and we're fortunate to have all those amenities with this incredible infrastructure. I think Antron Brown said it best a couple of years ago when he said, "What was it like the first time you came to Route 66 Raceway?" And he said, "When I came upon the facility, I imagined it was much like what the Roman gladiators felt the first time they came to the Colosseum for battle, that scale, that magnitude of this beautiful facility." And so we take a lot of pride in what we've been given, and we try and just nurture this masterpiece and make it better each and every year for the fans.
Hey, Scott, one of the things I can remember is pulling up to the track and seeing that beautiful pond out in front. And I remember asking one of the guys back in the day, what's the deal with the pond? Oh, it's stocked with fish. So I always wanted to bring my fishing pole over there and have go fishing over there. Is it still stocked with fish?
It really is. In fact, we'll see a lot of the drivers, a lot of the crew members. They'll be out there this weekend fishing and catching things. It's stocked with some pretty impressive stuff. And you're right. When that sun sets and goes down with the facility and that lake, it's like a postcard. It's like a Norman Rockwell painting. It's just a beautiful facility, and again, we're very, very proud of it. But bring your fishing pole. We'll have a little contest this weekend.
Scott, here you are running a top-of-the-line racing facility, one of the best in the world. What was your tie to racing? What got you started?
Yeah, but prior to coming over here, I actually spent 12 years at Gatorade, and I was running their sports marketing department, and we were heavily invested in motorsports. So I got a feel for NASCAR and NHRA racing, and I saw the impact that it could on a consumer packaged good product like Gatorade. I mean, NASCAR and the NHRA was instrumental in driving our business. And so I saw that side of it, and then I got this opportunity back in 2011 to come over and run these two world-class facilities, and now I'm on the other side of the ledger. And what's cool about what we do is we get to help people create some great lifelong, lasting memories with family and friends. And in this day and age, you know, not to be too nostalgic, but in this day and age, with all the pressure you deal with life, it's great to just have a place to escape to, where you can just have some fun and create some great family memories. And that's the business we're in. And it's very gratifying when we hear those stories from our fans about just how they created great family memories or made friendships, new friendships with people they never knew before because of the proximity of their camping spot next to another fan. And it's really good to be in a business like that where you can help people create those memories.
Hey, Scott, tell us where can fans go to get more information, a schedule on the races this weekend, get tickets, or can they come out to the gate and buy tickets? What's the best way to do that?
That's any of the above, Route66Raceway.com, or call 888-629-RACE, or just come on out to Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. And very, very affordable kids pricing. Thursday is free for kids. 12 and under is only $11. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, again, a great affordable family entertainment option.
It's the Route 66 Nationals, May 30th through June 2nd. It's Chicagoland area, Joliet, Illinois. Scott Paddock, the president of the facility. Scott, thank you very much for joining us today.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, have a great weekend, and we'll be right back with more of MRN's The Straight Line.
O'Reilly Auto Parts offers O-Rewards points in-store and online. Earn points on everything from replacement parts to tools and accessories. And for every 150 points collected, you'll get a $5 reward. Earn points any way you shop. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
3, 2, 1. The Firekeepers Casino 400, Sunday, June 9th at Michigan International Speedway. NASCAR's most entertaining track. There's tons to do with the whole family, like camping, live music, fireworks, and more. Tickets for as low as $39. Admission for kids under 12 is half price with a free pit pass, courtesy of Henry Ford Allegiance Health. Michigan International Speedway. You don't get it until you get here. Visit mispeedway.com for tickets.
Since 1942, Freightliner has been an industry innovator, developing trucks renowned for their dependability and efficiency. Whether your job requires a dump truck, a concrete mixer, or a delivery truck, you can count on Freightliner to maximize your productivity. With a wide range of horsepower and torque rating that meet even the most demanding job conditions, Freightliner trucks are built to build your business. Learn more at Freightliner.com. Freightliner, work smart.
Welcome back to MRN's The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hey, let's sell some tickets. Let's do that, as we just
Might
did
as well.
with Scott Paddock. If you'd like to go to the races at Joliet this weekend or any of the upcoming events, and there's some great ones this time of year. Bristol's right around the corner.
Yeah, Bristol's coming up Father's Day weekend. I mean, I'm father. I want to go to Bristol on Father's Day, you know?
Yeah.
That's the one coming up. Heartland Park, Topeka coming up next weekend. So there's 3 in a row coming up. We've got Route 66, we've got Heartland Park, Topeka, and then Thunder Valley, Bristol, Tennessee. Go to NHRA.com and upper right-hand corner, click on the ticket box.
NHRA.com, click on the red ticket tab in that upper right-hand corner, and you can order all the tickets you want and go on out to the races.
That's right. Sunday, Father's Day weekend, Bristol, Thunder Valley. I mean, I don't know. I might have to cruise over there for
better than
Father's
that tie and
Day.
socks you were going to
That's
get, right?
Exactly right. Yeah.
Although nowadays some of the socks are kind of cool. I'm betting you could probably get some drag racing socks, flamed ones. That'd be kind of all right. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, you go on NHRA Nitro Mall. I just got an email the other day, 20% off Nitro Mall. So yeah, there you go.
Is that just because you're Doug Herbert? You get 20% off?
No, I think it was just for being an NHRA member.
I didn't get that email.
Oh man, are you an NHRA member?
I need to renew that.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I might have dropped that ball. Yeah. Hey, we got red light, green light. We need to do that.
Red
too.
light, green light. I think, this is the only thing that I can see coming up. Jim Head, Nitro Funny Car. I mean, he's been racing for, since Moby Dick was a minnow. He's racing his Nitro Funny Car. He's not driving now. Johnny Lindbergh has been driving the car for last couple seasons.
Yeah.
Apparently, rumor has it that Johnny Lindbergh, he's been out of the country or been in the country here in the U.S., I guess, too long. And he's not able to come back to drive that Nitro Funny Car this weekend for Jim Head Racing. So what is a red light for him is a green light for somebody else, right?
Yeah. And Lindbergh was 15th in points right now, 174 total points earned. He's 543 out of the championship, but he's right behind Jeff Deal, who sits in 14th. I mean, he wasn't having a fantastic year, but he's competitive.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a top 10 car. I mean, Head's car, Jim Head tuning the car, I mean, it's hot and cold, but he's a competitive of enough car you can count on them being a threat to win almost anywhere they go. I mean, Jim Head, he could win any weekend. I think they could win. I don't think that's a far-fetched thing. So Jeff Arend, green light. Yeah. Jeff Arend gets to fly out from California, gets to hop in a winning caliber funny car with the Head Motorsport team, and gets to race this weekend at Chicagoland. So yeah, I think it's definitely a big green light for Jeff Arend.
Yeah, and there's numerous stories throughout sports of all kinds where a guy doesn't get to play, and the other guy comes in, and that's the end of that.
Well,
right?
That could be too. And I don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing that Johnny Lindbergh is probably financially, he's probably helping support.
So the seat will be waiting.
I mean, I don't know. It's not like Jim Head needs the money. I don't think Jim Head has any. I haven't seen his financial statement, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't need any money help to buy nitro or anything. But hey, you never know. I mean, even rich guys like to have somebody come along and bring some money along. So I'm guessing Johnny Lindbergh probably is paying something to drive that car. I'm thinking, and I could be totally wrong, and I hope I'm not. But I think back not very long ago, Jim's son, Chad, drove the car. So I'm guessing that Chad wasn't bringing any money, and that was what I originally, at least that's what I thought. Chad Head wasn't paying. This other guy came along, he's paying. Yeah. Chad, guess what? Go get a job, Yeah.
Well, if the Powerball guy comes along tonight and helps me out, maybe I'll be the one paying ahead to go do that.
Well, you're going to buy that Ferrari. You're going to buy that Ferrari.
Do that too.
Yeah, so.
I might do that too. Yeah. Hey, I saw Snake at the Indy 500 this past weekend. Still the coolest guy on the planet, man.
Yeah, you know what? He's just, he is a pretty cool guy, and he loves racing. That's one of the coolest things about him. I mean, he's getting up there in age. He loves going to races. He just raced that car in the Baja 1000. I mean, he
Parnelli Jones's grandkid. He did it with. Hey, we're going to wrap things up this week. For Doug Herbert, I'm Ralph Sheen. Hope you enjoy the races at Route 66. If you make your way out there this weekend, we'll see you soon right here with more of MRN's The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts.